The ultrasound gel was still cold on her belly when the text message appeared. Just 8 words that would destroy everything. Your mom says the coast is clear tonight. Your mom. Rebecca Morrison was 6 months pregnant, sitting in her doctor's office, waiting for her husband who was late. Again. And now his phone was lighting up with a message that made no sense until it made perfect sense. Her husband was cheating. That part she could almost understand. But her own mother was helping him, planning it, covering for him, and choosing him over her pregnant daughter. The betrayal went deeper than Rebecca ever imagined. Stolen money, secret houses, plans to take her baby, all orchestrated by the one person who was supposed to protect her. But Rebecca had one card left to play, one person who'd never betray her, her billionaire brother Marcus. And when Marcus Morrison went to war, he didn't just win, he destroyed. This is the story of the ultimate betrayal and the ultimate justice. Stay with me, because what happens next will shock you. The truth was so much worse than she thought. But the ending was better than anyone expected. Let's begin. The ultrasound gel was still cold on her belly when Jonathan's phone lit up with a message that destroyed everything. Becca sat in Dr. Hayes' office, 6 months pregnant, waiting for John, who was late. Again. His phone buzzed on the chair beside her purse. The message preview glowed. Your mom says the coast is clear tonight. My place at 8. A. Your mom. Becca's hand started shaking. Your mom. Her mom, John's mom. The baby kicked. Hard. Like even the baby knew something was wrong. She reached for the phone. Their anniversary. That was the passcode. 417. The screen unlocked. Hundreds of messages. Amber. Scroll down. Her mother's name appeared. Again. 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 Trish confirmed Becca has her book club tonight. Your mom is bringing wine to keep Becca distracted. Patricia says we're safe this weekend. The room tilted. The walls breathed. The baby kicked again. Her mother. Her own mother. Planning. Covering. Lying. Becca scrolled further back. 8 months of messages. Her mother's name woven throughout like poisoned thread through fabric. She set up the pregnancy announcement dinner. So we'd have an alibi. That dinner, the one where they told everyone about the baby, her mother had insisted on hosting, had planned everything, had made sure John and Becca arrived together, left together, spent the whole evening in front of witnesses. An alibi for what he was doing behind her back. The door opened. Dr. Hayes walked in, chart in hand, smile on her face. The smile died when she saw Becca. Honey, what's wrong? Is the baby moving? Becca couldn't speak, just held up the phone. Dr. Hayes looked at the screen. Her professional mask slipped, just for a second. Then she was all business. Okay, let's check the baby first, then we talk. The ultrasound showed a strong heartbeat. Perfect measurements. Healthy baby girl, growing right on schedule. Oblivious to the fact that her father was a liar and her grandmother was a traitor. The baby's fine, Dr. Hayes said quietly. Are you? No. Good, that's honest. Dr. Hayes pulled up a stool. Becca, I need to ask you something. Do you feel safe at home? Did she? With a man who'd been cheating for 8 months? With access to her mother, who'd been helping him? I don't know. Is there someone you can call? Someone you trust? Grace. Becca could call Grace. But first she had to know more. She scrolled through John's phone while Dr. Hayes quietly canceled her next appointment. The messages painted a picture Becca didn't want to see but couldn't look away from. Her mother had introduced John to Amber. Such a sweet girl from church, so organized, you should hire her. John had hired Amber as his executive assistant 14 months ago. The affair started 6 months later, 2 months before Becca got pregnant. Her mother knew from the beginning, encouraged it. Becca needs a project. The baby will keep her busy. Give it time. She'll be too tired with a newborn to notice. I'll make sure she doesn't suspect anything. Becca's vision blurred. The words swam. The baby kicked. She's too naive to ever suspect us. That was her mother talking about her own daughter, pregnant with her grandchild. Too naive. Dr. Hayes handed her tissues. Becca didn't remember starting to cry. I'm calling someone for you, Dr. Hayes said. Who should I call? Grace Mitchell. She's in my phone. Dr. Hayes found Becca's phone, made the call. Becca heard her voice, calm and professional. Grace, this is Dr. Eleanor Hayes. I'm Becca's OB. She's fine, the baby's fine, but she needs you. Can you come to my office? A pause. Yes. Now please. Another pause. I can't tell you. She needs to. But Grace, come fast. Dr. Hayes hung up. She'll be here in 15 minutes. She's leaving work now. Becca nodded, couldn't form words, just stared at John's phone, at her mother's name, over and over and over. The worst part wasn't the affair. Affairs happened. People made mistakes, got lost, made terrible choices. The worst part was her mother, the woman who was supposed to protect her, the woman who'd held her hand through morning sickness, helped paint the nursery, thrown her baby shower, the woman who'd looked her in the eye every single day and lied. How long have you known? That's what Becca would ask Grace, because suddenly she didn't know who to trust. If her own mother could betray her, who else had? But she knew Grace, had known her since college. Grace was the one who'd held her hair back after bad tequila, who'd helped her move 4 times, who'd been her maid of honor. Grace wouldn't lie to her. Would she? Becca checked John's phone again. Lock, unlock, lock, unlock, lock. Her hands wouldn't stop shaking. The baby kicked. Becca put her hand on her belly. I've got you, she whispered. I don't know what I'm doing, but I've got you. The door burst open. Grace stood there, still in her nurse's scrub, hair escaping her ponytail, out of breath. Becca held up the phone. Grace took it, started reading. Her face went white, then red, then white again. Oh my God. Keep reading. Grace scrolled and scrolled. Her hands started shaking too. Becca, I didn't know. I swear to God, I didn't know. I know. Your mother, your own mother. How could she? Grace stopped, stared at the screen. What? What? Grace turned the phone around. A message from Trish Tidwan, dated 3 weeks ago, and tell Becca that Grace is having marriage problems, that you're concerned about me. It'll keep her distracted and you'll look like a caring friend. And Grace's marriage was perfect, annoyingly perfect. But Becca had spent the last 3 weeks worried about Grace, texting her, calling her, meeting her for coffee, to check in, all based on a lie from her mother, to keep her distracted, while her husband fucked his assistant. I'm going to kill her, Grace said flatly. I'm actually going to kill your mother. Dr. Hayes cleared her throat. I didn't hear that, but I also need to ask you both to leave my office before I have to hear anything else I'd be obligated to report. Grace nodded, took Becca's arm. Can you walk? I'm pregnant, not dying. Are you sure? Because I kind of feel like dying right now. They walked to the parking lot. Becca got in Grace's car, couldn't face her own car, couldn't face driving home, couldn't face anything. Grace sat in the driver's seat, didn't start the car, just sat there. What do you want to do? I don't know. Do you want to go home? Home, the house she shared with John. The nursery they'd painted together last weekend, lemon yellow, gender neutral, full of lies. No. My place? He'll look for me there. Grace thought, okay, I have an idea, but you have to trust me. I trust you. Good, because we're calling Marcus. Becca hadn't called her brother in 3 weeks, not since he'd been on the cover of Forbes. The ruthless billionaire disrupting Silicon Valley. Marcus Morrison had made his first million at 23, selling a startup to Google. His first billion at 32, when his second company went public. Now, at 38, he ran a tech empire that made grown men nervous. But to Becca, he was just Marcus, the brother who'd taught her to ride a bike, who'd beaten up Tommy Richardson in 7th grade for calling her fat, who'd walked her down the aisle when their father refused to come to the wedding. Their father hadn't approved of John, said he was slick, said something was off. Becca had married him anyway. Turned out Dad was right. Grace pulled into a coffee shop parking lot, quiet, empty, safe. Call him. Becca pulled out her phone, stared at Marcus's name. He was in San Francisco. She was in Boston. He was busy running his empire. She was pregnant and stupid and, Becca, call him? She called. He answered on the first ring. Becca, what's wrong? He always knew. Even across 3,000 miles. Even through phone lines, he always knew. Marcus, I'm on my way. You don't even know. I know that tone. I'm on my way. Are you safe? Yes. Are you hurt? Not physically. Does John know where you are? How did he know this was about John? Because Marcus had never trusted him either. No. Good. Stay with Grace. I'm wheels up in 20 minutes. I'll be there by 8. Marcus, you don't have to. Yes, I do. You're my sister. I'm coming. Stay put. Stay safe. I'll call you from the car. He hung up. Grace looked at her. He's coming? He's coming. Good. Now we wait. And you're going to tell me everything. So Becca told her every message, every lie, every betrayal. They sat in Grace's car, engine off, windows cracked, while Becca's entire world rewrote itself. Every memory was different now. Her mother insisting John hire Amber. Such a sweet girl. Her mother arranging their weekly date nights. You two need couple time. I'll recommend restaurants. Her mother offering to help redecorate their bedroom. Let me have a spare key. I can let the decorator in while you're at work. A spare key to their house, so she could let Amber in. Oh my God, Becca whispered. The bedroom furniture. Mom said she found a deal. Supervised the delivery. I was at work. Grace's face said everything. Do you think they... Don't go there. Not yet. But Becca was already there. In her mind, she saw it. Amber in her bed, in the bed she shared with John, under sheets her mother had picked out. I'm going to be sick. Grace found a bag. Held Becca's hair, just like college. Just like always. When Becca finished, Grace handed her water, mints, tissues. Better? No. Fair. They sat in silence. The sun was setting. Golden hour. Beautiful. The world kept being beautiful while Becca's life imploded. Can I ask you something? Grace said quietly. Yeah. When did you know? Not consciously, but when did you know? Becca thought about it. Really thought. 3 months ago, he started coming home late. Said it was work. I believed him because I wanted to, but I knew. Somewhere inside, I knew. Why didn't you say anything? Because I was pregnant, because I was scared, because I thought I was being paranoid. Becca laughed, no humor in it. Turns out I wasn't paranoid enough. Grace squeezed her hand. You know what your mother said was bullshit, right? You're not naive. You trusted the people who should have been trustworthy. That's not weakness. That's love. Love is what got me into this mess. No, their betrayal is what got you into this mess. You just love them. That's not wrong. Becca's phone rang. John. Don't answer, Grace said. I have to. If I don't, he'll worry. He'll call my mom. They'll what? Coordinate their lies? Let them. Marcus is coming. Let them think they're still safe. Becca let it ring. Again. 5 missed calls. Then a text. Where are you? Dr. Hayes said you left upset. Are you okay? Is the baby okay? The baby. He asked about the baby. Not about her. Because the baby was his anchor. His ticket to keeping Becca trapped. To maintaining his perfect life while he fucked his assistant. Becca texted back. Baby's fine. I'm with Grace. She's having a hard time. I'll be home late. Using her mother's lie against them. John replied immediately. Okay, take your time. Love you. Love you, 2 words that used to mean everything. Now they meant nothing. Becca showed Grace the text. He's so full of shit. Yeah. Another text came through, this one from her mother. Honey, John said you were with Grace. Do you need me? I can come. Becca stared at the message. At her mother's name on the screen, Patricia Morrison, Trish to her friends, Mom to Becca, liar, traitor, betrayer. What should I say? Nothing, let her wonder. But Becca couldn't help herself. She typed, I'm fine, Mom. Grace needs me right now. Adding, isn't it awful when the people you trust betray you? Grace read over her shoulder. Oh, that's good. Trish replied, so awful, sweetheart. You're such a good friend. Love you. Love you. from the woman who was helping destroy her daughter's marriage. Becca put her phone away, looked at Grace. I don't know who I am anymore. If I couldn't see this, if I trusted them, who am I? You're Becca. You're my best friend. You're Marcus's sister. You're about to be an amazing mom, and you're a hell of a lot stronger than you think. I don't feel strong. Good. Because feeling destroyed is the first step to getting angry, and angry people rebuild. Destroyed people stay broken. You sound like a therapist. I sound like someone who loves you and is watching you realize that the people who should have loved you most failed you, and I'm here to tell you that their failure is not your failure. Becca started crying again. Big, ugly, pregnancy hormone-fueled sobs. Grace held her, let her cry, didn't try to fix it, just held her. When Becca finally stopped, Grace said, Marcus lands at 8. It's 6 now. We have 2 hours. What do you want to do? I want to go home and burn my house down. Hard pass on arson. Try again. I want to scream at my mother. Better, but let's wait for Marcus for that one. He's better at verbal warfare. Becca paused. What did she want? To understand, to know why, to know how long, to know if any of it was real. I want to read all the messages, all of them. I want to know exactly what they did, what they said, what they planned. Grace nodded. Okay, we can do that. But Becca, once you know, you can't unknow. Are you sure? I'm sure. So they sat in that parking lot in Grace's car while the sun set and the world turned dark. And Becca read every message on John's phone, every lie, every betrayal, every moment her mother chose him over her. By the time Marcus called to say he'd landed, Becca knew everything. And everything was so much worse than she'd imagined. Becca couldn't go home. Not yet. Not to that house full of lies. Grace drove them to her apartment. Small, cozy, safe. Her husband Mike took one look at Becca's face and disappeared into the bedroom without a word. Smart man. Marcus arrived at 8:30. His driver pulled up in a black SUV. Marcus stepped out in jeans and a worn MIT sweatshirt. He looked exactly like the brother who'd taught her calculus, not the billionaire CEO who'd been on CNBC that morning. He walked into Grace's apartment and went straight to Becca. Hugged her. Hard. Tell me everything. So she did. Again. Every message. Every lie. Every detail. Marcus's face didn't change, but Becca knew that look. Someone was about to lose everything. When she finished, he was quiet for a long moment. Then, where's his phone? Becca handed it over. Marcus scrolled, methodical, taking mental notes. His face remained neutral, but his jaw tightened. Once, twice, 3 times. He handed the phone back. We need to make a plan, but first you need to decide something. What do you want? What do I want? Yes. Do you want to fix this marriage? Do you want revenge? Do you want out? Do you want him to hurt? You need to know what you want before we act. Becca had never thought about it. What did she want? 6 hours ago, she'd wanted her husband to love her mother to be proud of her baby to grow up in a happy home. Now, I want out. I want my baby safe. I want them to understand what they did. And she paused. What else did she want? I want them to face consequences, real consequences, not just hurt feelings. I want justice. Marcus nodded. Good, that I can work with. He pulled out his phone, made a call. Daniel, it's Marcus. I need you in Boston tonight. Pause. Family emergency. I'll send the plane back for you. Pause. Everything. Forensic accountant, private investigator, the works. Pause. My sister's husband is cheating on her, with her mother's help. I want to know everything he's done wrong, professionally, financially, legally, everything. He hung up, looked at Becca. Daniel Price, best lawyer I know, absolutely ruthless. He'll be here by midnight. Marcus, I can't afford. You're not paying, I am. He's my lawyer. He works for me. Right now, that means he works for you. Grace spoke up. What about Becca's mom? What are you going to do about her? Marcus's expression went cold. That depends on what we find. But Grace, I promise you this, when I'm done, Patricia Morrison will regret every single choice she made. Becca should have felt bad about that, should have wanted to protect her mother, felt some shred of family loyalty. She felt nothing. Nothing but a cold, clear certainty that her mother had made her choices. Now she'd face them. I need to go home, Becca said. Just for tonight. If I don't, John will know something's wrong. I need to act normal until we know everything. Absolutely not, Marcus said immediately. Marcus, no, you're not going back to that house. Not tonight. Not until we know what we're dealing with. But, Becca, listen to me. I've built companies, fought hostile takeovers, dealt with corporate espionage. You know what I've learned? Never let the enemy know you're coming. Right now, John and your mother think they're safe. They think you're naive. That gives us power. So what do? You stay here tonight. You text John and say you're staying with Grace because she needs you. You'll be home tomorrow. You make everything seem normal. Meanwhile, Daniel and his team will start digging. What if he doesn't believe me? He will, because your mother will back you up. She'll tell him the same lie about Grace that she told you. They'll believe their own lie. It was brilliant. It was horrible. It was necessary. Becca texted John, Grace is having a really hard time. I'm staying with her tonight. I'll be home tomorrow afternoon. John replied within seconds, Of course, babe. Take care of her. Love you both. Then her mother, Mom, can you tell John I'm staying with Grace tonight? I don't want him to worry. Trish replied, Already did, sweetheart. Take care of Grace. Poor thing. Mike must be devastated. Mike was in the next room, perfectly happy, eating leftover pizza. The lies came so easily to her mother. Grace read the messages. I've never wanted to punch someone's mom before. This is a new feeling. Marcus made more calls, ordered food, set up a guest room for Becca, moved like he was commanding troops, not helping his pregnant sister through a crisis. But that was Marcus. He solved problems, fixed things, protected his family. When Daniel arrived at midnight, he came with 2 associates and 3 laptops. Marcus, he said, shaking hands. Then to Becca, Mrs. Hartley, I'm sorry we're meeting under these circumstances. It's Morrison. I kept my name. Daniel smiled. Smart woman. Let's keep it that way. They sat around Grace's dining table. Daniel pulled out a legal pad. Tell me everything, and I mean everything, every financial decision, every joint account, every asset, every oddity. Nothing is too small. Becca talked until 2 in the morning. Daniel's associates took notes, asked questions, cross-referenced information. Finally, Daniel sat back. Okay, here's what we're going to do. We start with bank records. Look for unusual transactions. Then we dig into his company, email records, expense reports, travel. Then we look at your mother's finances, see if there's money flowing between them. You think he's paying her? I think people who betray family usually have financial motivation. We'll find out. Daniel's phone buzzed. He looked at it, smiled. Excellent. We have access to Jonathan's company email. One of our tech specialists just broke in. Is that legal? In discovery, yes. Right now, gray area. But if we find something criminal, we'll have grounds for a proper investigation. Daniel looked at her. Mrs. Morrison, I need to ask you something. How far are you willing to go? What do you mean? I mean that we might find things. Bad things, things that could send him to prison, things that could destroy your mother financially. Are you prepared for that? Becca thought about her baby, about the lies, about 8 months of betrayal. Yes. Good, because I don't lose. And I don't play nice. Marcus put his hand on Becca's shoulder. Get some rest. We'll take it from here. I can't sleep. Try. The baby needs you healthy, and tomorrow you're going to need your strength. Grace walked Becca to the guest room, helped her into borrowed pajamas, sat on the edge of the bed. You okay? No, but I will be. You know what I keep thinking? Your mom threw her own baby shower, smiled at you, touched your belly, and knew. She knew what he was doing and she helped him do it. Becca's hands went to her stomach. The baby kicked, strong, healthy, innocent. My baby will never know her grandmother. How do I explain that? You tell her the truth, that grandma made choices that hurt people, and that sometimes loving someone means protecting them from toxic people, even if those people are family. When did you get so wise? Nursing school? We have a whole class on family dysfunction. Becca almost laughed. Almost. Grace turned off the light. I'm right next door, if you need me. Alone in the dark, Becca couldn't sleep. Her mind raced. Every memory replayed differently now. Her mother at her wedding, dancing with John, whispering something that made him laugh. What had she said? Was she already planning to betray her daughter even then? Her mother at the pregnancy announcement, crying happy tears, hugging Becca, saying she'd be the best grandmother ever, while knowing, while planning, while lying. The baby kicked. Becca put both hands on her belly. I'm so sorry, she whispered. I'm so sorry you're coming into this mess. But I promise you're going to be safe. You're going to be loved. And you're never going to wonder if you matter. Because you're the only thing that matters now. Her phone buzzed, a text from Marcus. Daniel found something. We'll talk in the morning. Get some sleep. You're safe now. Safe? Was she? Would she ever feel safe again? But Marcus was here. Grace was next door. And somewhere in this apartment, lawyers and investigators were tearing apart John's life, finding the truth, building her case, giving her justice. Becca closed her eyes, tried to sleep, failed. But she didn't feel destroyed anymore. She felt angry. And angry people, as Grace said, rebuild. Becca woke to morning sickness and city sounds. Grace's apartment, not her home, not her bed. Reality crashed back. She made it to the bathroom. Grace appeared with ginger ale and crackers. Marcus is here. Daniel too. They've been working all night. Becca brushed her teeth, splashed water on her face, looked at herself in the mirror. Dark circles, puffy eyes, pale skin. She looked like what she was, a pregnant woman whose world had shattered. But she was standing, breathing, moving forward. That was something. Marcus and Daniel sat at the dining table, surrounded by laptops and coffee cups. They looked up when Becca entered. Morning, Marcus said. How'd you sleep? I didn't. Fair. Coffee? I'm pregnant. Right. Decaf? Despite everything, Becca almost smiled. Marcus still remembered her drink orders from college. Please, she sat down. Daniel closed his laptop, pushed a folder across the table. Mrs. Morrison, we found some things. Before I tell you, I need to warn you. This is worse than we thought. How much worse? Much worse, but also much better for your case. Daniel opened the folder. Bank statements, credit card receipts, email printouts. Let's start with the affair. We confirmed it began 14 months ago, shortly after Jonathan hired Amber Kingsley as his executive assistant. Your mother introduced them through her church group. I knew that part. Yes, but here's what you didn't know. Amber Kingsley had significant student loan debt, $73,000. That debt was paid off 9 months ago, in full, single payment. Daniel slid over a bank statement. The payment came from an account in your name, a trust fund established by your grandfather. Becca stared at the numbers. What? Your mother had secondary authorization on the account. She could make withdrawals under $50,000 without your signature. Over that amount required both signatures. So how did she made multiple withdrawals, $49,000, $37,000, $26,000, deposited them into Jonathan's personal account. He then paid off Amber's loans. The room tilted. My mother stole from me to pay off his mistress's student loans? Yes. Marcus put his hand on Becca's arm. Steady, grounding. Daniel continued. That's not all. We found additional withdrawals, totaling $437,000 over 3 years. The money went through various accounts, but it all ended up in 2 places. He slid over more documents. Amber Kingsley's car, purchased 18 months ago, $32,000. Down payment came from your trust fund through Jonathan's account. And the other place? Daniel pulled out a property deed. A beach house in Cape Cod, purchased 8 months ago, $350,000. The deed is in Jonathan's and Amber's names. The down payment came from your trust fund, refinanced through Jonathan's accounts to hide the source. Becca couldn't breathe, couldn't process. They bought a house, together, With my money. Yes. My grandfather's money, that he left for me, for my future, for my children. Yes. And my mother took it, gave it to them, so they could buy a beach house. Yes. The baby kicked. Hard. Like even the baby was furious. Grace appeared with tissues. Becca didn't remember starting to cry. There's more, Daniel said quietly. How can there be more? Jonathan has been embezzling from his company, small amounts, 10,000 here, 15,000 there, moved through fake vendor accounts. We estimate he's stolen approximately $200,000 over 18 months. Jesus Christ. He's been moving money offshore, Cayman Islands, Panama, setting up accounts in preparation for something. For what? Daniel met her eyes. For leaving you. We found emails, drafts, never sent, but saved. He was planning to divorce you after the baby was born. Take the baby, claim you were unstable, use the pregnancy and postpartum period to paint you as unfit. The world stopped. He was going to take my baby? He was going to try. Whether he'd succeed is doubtful, but he was planning it. Marcus spoke for the first time. Show her the rest. Daniel hesitated. Are you sure? She needs to know everything. Daniel pulled out another document, email printouts. These are from your mother to Jonathan. We found them in his deleted folder. He didn't permanently delete them. Becca read. Her hands shook so badly Grace had to hold the paper steady. Jonathan, she suspects something. Keep your distance for a few weeks. The pregnancy hormones are making her emotional. Use that. Make her feel crazy. I told her you're working late on the Morrison project. She believes me. Amber is perfect for you. Becca has let herself go since the wedding. You deserve better. Don't worry about the baby. Once it's born, she'll be too exhausted to function. That's when you leave. I'll help you get custody. A child needs a stable home, not a depressed single mother. Becca stopped reading, put the papers down, stared at nothing. Her mother. Writing these words, planning this betrayal, actively helping John destroy her. Wait, bye, Becca whispered. Why would she do this? Daniel pulled out more emails. We found these in your mother's email. She was sloppy, kept everything. Email from John to Trish. When Becca and I divorce, I'll set you up in the Cape House. You can stay there whenever you want. I'll give you an allowance. $2,500 a month. You'll never have to work again. Email from Trish to John. She's always been weak, needy. Her father babied her. Her brother spoils her. She's never had to face real life. This will be good for her. Force her to grow up. Another email from Trish. The trust fund is almost depleted. We need to make our move soon. Once Marcus finds out about the withdrawals, he'll lock everything down. We have maybe 6 months. Becca looked at Marcus. You didn't know? No, I set up that trust fund when you got married. Put $500,000 in it. Gave Mom secondary access because I thought... He stopped, swallowed hard. I thought she'd protect you. I was wrong. Daniel gathered the papers. Mrs. Morrison, your mother wasn't just helping with an affair. She was actively participating in financial fraud, planning to help your husband steal your child, and embezzling from your trust fund, all for a beach house and $2,500 a month. She sold me for $2,500 a month. Yes. Becca stood, walked to the window, looked out at the city. Normal people doing normal things, going to work, getting coffee, living lives that weren't imploding. Behind her, she heard Marcus on the phone. Richard, it's Marcus Morrison. We need to talk about your son. John's father. Marcus was calling John's father. Everything I'm about to tell you is documented, verified. I'll email you proof. Pause. Your son has been embezzling from his company, cheating on my sister, and planning to steal their baby. Pause. Yes, I'm serious. Pause. I'm calling because despite being his father, you've always been a decent man. You deserve to know what he is before the rest of the world finds out. Long pause. Thank you. I'll send everything over. Marcus hung up, looked at Becca. Richard's coming. He wants to see the evidence himself. He'll be here in 2 hours. Why? Because he's your baby's grandfather. And because, unlike your mother, he actually cares about doing the right thing. Grace brought more ginger ale. Becca drank, tried to process, failed. What happens now? Daniel answered. Now we give you choices. We can go nuclear, criminal charges for embezzlement, fraud charges for your mother, restraining orders, full public disclosure, destroy them both. Or we do this quietly, divorce, return of funds, non-disclosure agreements. They walk away broke and humiliated, but not in prison. What's the difference? Prison is permanent. Humiliation fades. The question is, what do you want? What did she want? Yesterday, she'd wanted her husband, her mother, her family intact. Today, I want my baby safe. I want my money back. I want them to understand they can't do this to people. But she paused, thought about her baby, about the future, about the person she wanted her daughter to become. I don't want revenge. I want justice. I want them to face consequences, real ones. But I don't want to become someone cruel. I don't want my daughter to grow up watching her mother destroy people, even people who deserve it. Marcus nodded. That's fair. So here's what we do. We get your money back. Every penny. We get the divorce, full custody, no claims to your assets. We make them return everything, then we let them go. Just like that? Not just like that. We make it clear that if they ever contact you or the baby again, all of this goes public. The criminal charges happen. Everything. We give them mercy, but only once. They accept our terms or we destroy them. Their choice, Daniel added, and we make them sign affidavits, admitting everything, confessing. Those documents go in a safe. If they violate the agreement, we release them. Publicly. It was fair. It was just. It was more than they deserved, but it was who Becca wanted to be. Okay, let's do it. Marcus smiled. Good, because I already scheduled a meeting. Today, 4 o'clock, my office building. John, your mother, John's parents, father, our lawyers. We lay it all out. We give them one chance to make this right. If they refuse, Daniel files criminal charges tomorrow morning. They'll agree? They'll agree, because the alternative is prison, and neither of them is brave enough for prison. Richard Hartley arrived at noon, tall, distinguished, gray hair, kind eyes. He hugged Becca. I'm so sorry. It's not your fault. He's my son. I raised him. Somewhere I failed. No, he made his choices. Richard sat down, reviewed the documents. His face aged 10 years and 10 minutes. When he finished, he looked at Marcus. What can I do? Be there today. Let him know that his own father sees what he is. I'll be there, Amen. He turned to Becca. And I'll still be this baby's grandfather. If you'll let me, I know I have no right to ask. Yes, Becca said immediately. Yes. You've always been kind to me. You don't lose your grandchild because your son is a monster. Richard's eyes filled. Thank you. They spent the afternoon preparing, running through scenarios, practicing responses. At 3:30, they left for Marcus's office building. War was about to begin, and Becca was ready. Marcus's office building was all glass and steel. 50th floor, view of the entire city. The conference room was designed for intimidation. Long table, leather chairs, floor-to-ceiling windows. Daniel and his associates set up documents, laptops, projector screens. This wasn't a meeting, it was an execution. John arrived first, cocky, confident. He'd hired his own lawyer, a young guy in an expensive suit who looked nervous when he saw Daniel Price. Smart kid. John saw Becca, smiled, like this was all a misunderstanding they'd clear up. Becca, thank God, you had me so worried. Are you okay? Is the baby okay? Sit down, Jonathan. His smile faltered. Babe, sit down. He sat. His lawyer sat beside him. Trish arrived next, dressed nicely, hair done, makeup perfect. She dressed up for this like it was a social event. She saw Becca, rushed over. Sweetheart, what's going on? Marcus said it was urgent family business. Sit down, Mom. Honey, you look pale. Is it the baby? Should we call Dr. Hayes? Sit down. Something in Becca's voice stopped her. Trish looked around, saw the lawyers. The documents. Marcus's cold face. What is this? Sit down, Patricia. Marcus's voice could cut glass. She sat, far from Becca. Good instincts. Father Tom arrived, confused but calm. Marcus called, said there was a family crisis. There is, Marcus said. Please sit, Father. We'll need an objective witness. Richard Hartley was last. He looked at his son. His face showed nothing but disappointment. John stood. Dad, what are you doing here? Sit down, Jonathan. Dad, I don't know what they told you, but sit down. John sat. Vivian hadn't come. Richard had told her what he'd learned. She'd refused to believe it, refused to attend. Some people choose denial. Marcus stood at the head of the table. Thank you all for coming. We're here to discuss Jonathan's affair, Patricia's theft, and what happens next. John's lawyer jumped up. Now wait just a minute. Daniel didn't even look at him. Sit down, counsel, or leave. Your client's about to confess to multiple felonies. You'll want to be here for this. The young lawyer sat. Marcus nodded to Daniel. The projector screens lit up. Every text message, every email, every bank transaction. John's face went white. Trish went still. Marcus let them look. Let it sink in. Let them understand how much he knew. Then he spoke. Jonathan E. Hartley, you've been having an affair with Amber Kingsley for 14 months. You've been embezzling from your company. You've been stealing from my sister's trust fund. You've been planning to divorce her, take her child, and move to Cape Cod with your mistress, all with Patricia Morrison's help. Silence. Patricia Morrison, you've stolen $437,000 from your daughter. You've helped Jonathan embezzle and hide funds. You've actively participated in a conspiracy to defraud your daughter and steal her child. All for a beach house and $2,500 a month. More silence. John found his voice. This is ridiculous. Becca's hormonal. Pregnancy makes women... Marcus hit a button. John's voice filled the room. Audio from a company meeting. John talking to Amber. Just a few more months. After the baby's born, Becca will be so exhausted she won't fight the divorce. We'll get custody. Kids belong with their father anyway. John's face crumbled. Another audio clip. Trish and John at a restaurant. She's always been weak. Letting her struggle will make her stronger. You're doing her a favor. Trish stood. Where did you get that? Amber's phone. She recorded everything. Insurance policy. Smart girl. Marcus smiled. She's been very cooperative. Turns out she doesn't appreciate being manipulated by a married man and his mother-in-law. Trish sat down. Hard. Daniel took over. Here's what's going to happen. Jonathan, you're going to resign from your company today. You'll confess to the embezzlement. You'll repay every cent. Then you'll sign divorce papers giving Rebecca full custody, zero claim to her assets or future earnings, and supervised visitation rights only. John's lawyer tried to object. Daniel ignored him. Patricia, you're going to return $437,000 to Rebecca's trust fund. You have 48 hours. If you don't, I file criminal charges. Theft, fraud, conspiracy, elder abuse of your own elderly father who left that money in trust. Trish found her voice. You can't prove... Marcus hit another button. Trish's face appeared on screen. Video from the bank, multiple visits, withdrawal slips in her handwriting. Want to try again? She went silent. Additionally, Daniel continued, you'll both sign affidavits confessing to everything. Those documents will be sealed. If either of you ever contacts Rebecca or her child again, if either of you speaks publicly about this, if either of you does anything we don't like, this documents become public, and we file charges. John stood. This is blackmail. No, Marcus said calmly. This is mercy. Blackmail would be me demanding money. I'm demanding you return what you stole and leave my sister alone. That's called justice. I won't sign. Then don't. Daniel will file criminal charges at 9 a.m. tomorrow. You'll be arrested. You'll go to trial. You'll go to prison. Federal prison for the embezzling. State prison for the fraud. Your choice. John looked at his lawyer. The young guy shook his head. Mr. Hartley, they have you dead to rights. If even half this evidence is admissible, You are looking at 10 to 15 years. Take the deal. But my daughter, you'll have supervised visitation. That's more than you deserve. John looked at Trish like she'd save him. She was staring at her hands, calculating, figuring out if she could return the money, if she'd go to prison. Father Tom spoke for the first time. Patricia, is this true? Trish looked at him, the priest who'd known her for 30 years, who'd baptized Becca, who'd prayed with their family. Is this true? She opened her mouth, closed it, nodded. Father Tom sat back. Lord have mercy. Indeed, Marcus said. So here's what happens next. You sign today, now, or I make one phone call and by tomorrow morning, both of you are in handcuffs. Decide. John looked at his father. Richard stared back. No sympathy, no rescue coming. Dad, you made your choices, son. Now you live with them. Trish tried one last time. Becca, sweetheart, I'm your mother. You can't. Becca spoke for the first time, stood up, faced her mother. Don't you dare call me sweetheart. Don't call me daughter. You stopped being my mother when you chose him over me, over your grandchild. I did it for us. You did it for yourself, for money, for a beach house. You sold your daughter for $2,500 a month. That's not. Stop lying, Becca's voice cracked. Just for once, stop lying. I've read the emails. I've seen the bank records. I know everything, and the only thing I don't understand is why. Why me? What did I do to make you hate me so much? Trish's face crumbled. I don't hate you. Then what? What did I do? Nothing. You did nothing. You just had everything. Dad loved you more. Marcus protected you. Everyone always chose you. I was just there in the background, taking care of everyone, and no one ever took care of me. So you destroyed me? Because Grandpa loved me? I didn't mean, yes, you did. You planned it, orchestrated it, helped him steal from me, helped him plan to take my baby. You did all of it, on purpose, because you were jealous. Silence, Becca continued. I would have helped you if you'd needed money, if you'd been struggling, if you'd just asked. I would have given you anything. But you didn't ask. You stole. You betrayed. You chose to hurt me. Tears ran down Trish's face. I'm sorry. I don't care. Sorry doesn't fix this. Sorry doesn't give me back the 8 months you helped him cheat. Sorry doesn't erase the fact that my own mother tried to help steal my child. Becca turned to Daniel. Where do I sign? Daniel slid papers across the table. Becca signed. Rebecca Morrison. Her name, her identity, not Hartley, never Hartley. Then she looked at John. You get supervised visitation, 2 hours, twice a month. You'll pay child support. You'll sign away all parental rights except visitation. You'll never be alone with my daughter. And if you miss a single payment, if you're late once, if you do anything I don't like, I'll file for termination of parental rights, and I'll win. John's hands shook as he signed. Becca turned to her mother. You have 48 hours to return my money, all of it. After that, you're dead to me. You'll never meet your grandchild. You'll never contact me again. If I see you on the street, I'll walk past like you don't exist. Because to me, you don't. Not anymore. Trish reached for her hooker. Becca stepped back. Don't touch me. Don't ever touch me again. Marcus handed Trish papers. Sign now. She signed, hands shaking, mascara running, life crumbling. Good. Daniel collected the documents. We're done here. Jonathan, I'll email your resignation letter. It'll be on your CEO's desk by morning. Patricia, you have 48 hours. Don't test me. He looked at John's lawyer. Get your client out of my sight before I change my mind about pressing charges. They left. John first, shoulders slumped, destroyed. His lawyer practically dragged him out. Trish stood, looked at Becca one more time. I really am sorry. Good, live with it. Trish left. Father Tom followed. He paused at the door. Becca, I'll pray for you, for your family, for healing. Thank you, Father. And Becca, you did the right thing. Mercy is harder than revenge. You chose the harder path. That takes strength. When he left, only Becca, Marcus, Grace, Richard, and the lawyers remained. Richard stood, hugged Becca. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry he's my son. He made his choices. You didn't. I'd still like to be in my grandchild's life, if you'll allow it. Yes, please. She'll need good grandparents, since she only has one now. Richard kissed her forehead. Thank you. He left. Grace appeared with water, tissues, her usual supplies. Becca sat down, hard. The adrenaline drained out, left her shaking. It's done, she whispered. It's done, Marcus confirmed. What happens now? Now we make sure they keep their word. Daniel will monitor everything. If they violate the agreement, we crush them. And if they don't, then you're free to raise your baby, free to build your life, free from both of them. Free. The word should have felt good. Instead, it felt hollow. But hollow was better than trapped. Becca put her hand on her belly. The baby kicked, strong, healthy, unaware that her family had just imploded. I'm going to be a good mom, Becca said quietly. You already are, Grace said. You just protected her from toxicity. That's the first job of parenting. Marcus knelt beside Becca's chair. Hey, look at me. She looked. You survived. You fought back. You won. And you did it without becoming them. You chose mercy over revenge, justice over cruelty. That's who you are. Don't forget that. I won't. Good, because your daughter's going to need to know that story someday. She'll need to know her mother was strong enough to walk away from toxic people, even when those people were family. Becca nodded, couldn't speak, just nodded. They sat in that conference room for another hour. Daniel went over next steps, timelines, contingencies. Then Grace drove Becca home, to her house, the house she'd shared with John. But John wasn't there, his things were gone. Marcus had arranged it. While they were in the meeting, movers had cleared out every trace of him. The house was hers now, just hers. She walked through the rooms. Each one looked different now, lighter somehow. In the nursery, she sat in the rocking chair. Lemon yellow walls, gender neutral, but hers now, really hers. Okay, baby girl, she whispered. It's just you and me now. Well, you and me and Uncle Marcus and Aunt Grace and Grandpa Richard. We're going to be okay. I promise. The baby kicked, Becca rocked, and for the first time in 48 hours, she felt something other than pain. She felt hope. The next 3 weeks were a blur of lawyers and logistics. John resigned. His CEO accepted without question. Marcus had already sent him everything. John was lucky to avoid prosecution. Trish returned the money. Every penny. 48 hours exactly. She'd sold jewelry, liquidated accounts, borrowed from friends. The beach house went up for sale. Amber moved out. The divorce papers were filed, fast-tracked through Marcus's lawyers. No contest, no negotiation. Just signatures and done. Becca stayed in her house, painted over the lemon yellow, chose lavender instead, a new color for a new beginning. Dr. Hayes made house calls, checked on Becca and the baby. Everything was fine, healthy, on track. How are you doing? Dr. Hayes asked during one visit. I'm surviving. That's not what I asked. Becca thought about it. How was she doing? Really? I'm angry, still. I wake up angry. Go to bed angry. The anger doesn't go away. Good. Becca looked up. Dr. Hayes sat beside her. I've been a doctor for 23 years. I've seen a lot of women in your situation. You know what I've learned? The angry ones rebuild. The destroyed ones stay broken. You're angry. That means you're healing. It doesn't feel like healing. It never does. Healing feels like rage and grief and exhaustion. It feels like getting up every morning even when you don't want to. It feels like making choices for your future when your past is in ruins. That's what healing looks like. When does it stop hurting? I don't know, but I know it gets easier. The rage becomes determination. The grief becomes wisdom. The exhaustion becomes strength. Give it time. Grace visited every day, brought food, watched terrible reality TV, didn't try to fix anything, just existed beside Becca while she processed. Marcus called twice a day, morning and night, checking in, making sure she was okay. Ready to deploy lawyers at a moment's notice. Richard came by once a week, brought flowers, asked about the baby, talked about his own mistakes as a parent, apologized for raising a son who could do what John did. You didn't raise him to be this, Becca told him. He chose it. Still, somewhere I failed. No, he failed. You just loved him. That's not the same thing. The hardest part was the silence from her mother. No calls, no texts, nothing. Becca had expected it, had demanded it, but some small part of her had hoped. What? That her mother would fight for her? Would choose her? Would realize what she'd lost? Stupid. Her mother had made her choice. Money over daughter, beach house over grandchild. That choice was final. 3 weeks after the meeting, Daniel called. We need to talk. Becca's heart jumped. Did they violate the agreement? No, but we found something else. Can you come to Marcus's office? Grace should come too. They went. Daniel looked grim. Marcus looked furious. What's wrong? Daniel opened his laptop. We've been monitoring Jonathan's and Patricia's accounts, making sure they're complying. Everything's been fine. They're following the agreement. So what's the problem? The problem is what we found while monitoring. Jonathan's been embezzling longer than we thought. We found earlier transactions going back 5 years, nearly $500,000. Jesus. Yeah, and there's more. He's been running the same scam at his company for years. Multiple fake vendors. Systematic theft. His company just doesn't know yet. So what do we do? Ethically, I have to report it. This isn't just your money anymore. This is corporate fraud, securities violations. If I stay silent, I'm complicit. Becca understood. You're going to report him? I have to, but I wanted to tell you first, because once I do, this becomes a federal investigation. He'll be arrested, prosecuted. He's going to prison. What does that mean for my daughter? Supervised visitation continues, but it'll be in prison, and realistically, he'll be gone for years. She won't know him. Becca should have felt bad, should have felt guilty, should have wanted to protect her child's father. She felt relief. Do it. Report him. He can't keep getting away with this. Daniel nodded. I'll file the report tomorrow. What about my mom? She wasn't involved in the corporate theft, just the trust fund. We can't prove she knew about the rest. She'll be fine. Fine, do whatever you need to do. Marcus walked Becca to the elevator. You okay? I don't know, am I supposed to feel bad? No, you're supposed to feel whatever you feel. There's no right emotion here. I feel relieved, is that awful? No, it's honest. Your daughter will be safer with him in prison than with him having access to her. That's just reality. The elevator doors opened. Becca stepped in, turned around. Marcus, thank you for everything, for believing me, for fighting for me, for, her voice cracked, for being the family I needed. Marcus's eyes got shiny. He didn't do emotion, but this broke through. Always, Becca, always. 2 days later, federal agents arrested John at his new apartment. The news reported it. Tech executive arrested for embezzlement. Becca didn't watch, didn't need to. Instead, she sat in her nursery, lavender walls, new furniture, fresh start. Grace found her there. You okay? Yeah, weirdly, yeah. What are you thinking about? Everything, nothing, the future. Becca put her hand on her belly. 8 months pregnant now, 1 month to go. I'm thinking about what I'm going to tell her when she's old enough to ask. What will you tell her? The truth, that her father made bad choices, that her grandmother made worse ones, but that she came from love. Before I knew what he was, I loved him. She was created in that love. That moment was real even if he wasn't. That's beautiful. I want her to understand that people can be complicated, that bad people can do good things sometimes, that good people can make terrible choices, that she doesn't have to defend them or hate them. She can just acknowledge what they did and move forward. You're going to be an amazing mom. I hope so. 1 month later, Becca went into labor on a Tuesday morning. Grace drove. Marcus met them at the hospital. Dr. Hayes was already there. 12 hours later, Eleanor Grace Morrison entered the world. 7 pounds, 3 ounces, perfect, healthy, beautiful. Becca held her daughter and cried. Happy tears, relieved tears, grateful tears. Hi, Ellie. I'm your mom. I've got you. I've always got you. Marcus held his niece carefully, like she was made of glass. Hey, Ellie. I'm your Uncle Marcus. I'm going to spoil you rotten. You better, Becca said. Richard visited, cried when he held his granddaughter. She's perfect. Thank you for letting me be here. You chose to be here. That matters. Grace brought balloons and terrible hospital coffee. She has your eyes, and apparently my stubbornness. She took 12 hours to make her entrance. Drama queen already. I love here. That night, alone with Ellie, Becca talked to her. Okay, baby girl, let me tell you about your family. Your Uncle Marcus is brilliant and intense and protective. He'll teach you to code and negotiate and never take anyone's crap. Your Aunt Grace is kind and funny and loyal. She'll teach you to stand up for your friends and laugh at bad jokes. Your Grandpa Richard is gentle and wise. He'll teach you that you're not responsible for other people's mistakes. She paused. Your father made bad choices. He's in prison. You might meet him someday. That's up to you. And your grandmother, she chose money over family. She's not part of our lives. Maybe that'll change someday. Maybe not. That's okay too. Ellie yawned. But here's what you need to know. You are loved. Completely. Unconditionally. By people who chose to love you. Who showed up. Who stayed. That's what family is. Not blood, but choice, and we chose you. We'll always choose you. Ellie fell asleep in her arms, tiny and perfect and innocent. Becca kissed her forehead. Welcome to the world, baby girl. It's complicated and messy, and sometimes people suck. But it's also beautiful, and you are going to be okay, because you're mine, and I've got you. 3 weeks after Ellie was born, Amber Kingsley showed up at Becca's door. Becca almost didn't open it, saw her through the window, considered pretending not to be home. But Ellie was crying. The baby monitor was loud. Amber knew she was there. Becca opened the door, didn't invite her in. What do you want? Amber looked different, thinner, tired, no makeup, hair in a messy ponytail. I know you don't want to see me. I know I have no right to be here, but I need to tell you something you should know. I know everything already. Your affair, the money, the house, all of it. Not everything. There's something else, something I didn't tell the lawyers. Something I should have said months ago. Becca should have closed the door, should have sent her away. But something in Amber's voice stopped her. Fear, shame, honesty. You have 5 minutes. Can I come in? No, say whatever you need to say from there. Amber nodded, took a breath. Your mother recruited me, specifically, deliberately. I thought it was a coincidence, that we met at church, that she befriended me, that she introduced me to Jonathan. I know that part. But you don't know why. You don't know how calculated it was. Becca waited. I was in your mother's Bible study group. We talked about our lives, our problems. I mentioned my student loans, how I couldn't get ahead, how I felt stuck. And she saw an opportunity. Yes, but not just for money, for something else. Amber looked at Becca, really looked at her. She hated you. The words hung between them. What? I didn't see it at first. She seemed like this caring, concerned mother. She talked about you all the time, how you'd married young, how your husband worked too much, how you were probably lonely. That's not hate. No, but then she'd say other things, little things, how you'd always had everything easy, how your grandfather favored you, how Marcus protected you, how everyone always chose you. She'd say it casually, like facts, but the way she said it, Amber paused. She was jealous, deeply, bitterly jealous of her own daughter. Becca felt cold, knew it was true, but hearing it confirmed was different. She told me Jonathan's marriage was troubled, that you were thinking about leaving him anyway, that he needed support through a difficult time. She made it sound like I was helping. You were 24, 26 now? 26. I just graduated. I was stupid and desperate, and I believed her, right? She was this nice church lady who wanted to help. Why would she lie? Why are you telling me this now? Because I need you to understand something. Your mother didn't just help with the affair. She orchestrated it. From the beginning, she picked me. She introduced us. She created opportunities. She covered for us. She planned everything. Why? Because she wanted to take something from you. To prove she could. To prove you weren't untouchable. To prove that even with all your advantages, she could still destroy your life. Becca's legs felt weak. She grabbed the doorframe. She told me once when she'd had too much wine that you'd never struggled, that you'd never faced real hardship, that losing Jonathan would be good for you, would force you to grow up. Amber's voice cracked. She wanted you to suffer. Your own mother wanted you to suffer. Inside, Ellie cried louder. Becca ignored it. When did you realize? Your baby shower. She showed me pictures. You looked so happy, so in love, so pregnant, and she was smiling, showing me these pictures of her daughter, like she was proud. But her eyes, Amber wiped her face. Her eyes were cold, satisfied, like she'd accomplished something. What did you do? Nothing. I was in too deep. The loans were paid. I had the car, the apartment. I was trapped in my own lie, and I was ashamed. So I pretended not to see it. Why are you telling me now? Because Jonathan's in prison. Your mother's broke, and I'm alone with what I did, what we did, what she made us do. Amber met Becca's eyes. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I don't deserve it. I helped destroy your marriage. I helped steal your money. I helped hurt you. That's on me. Then what do you want? I want you to know the truth, that your mother is worse than you think, that this wasn't just an affair that got out of hand. It was planned, orchestrated, done with malice. She wanted to hurt you, and she succeeded. Ellie's cries got louder. Becca needed to feed her. Thank you for telling me. Now go. Becca, go. I need to take care of my daughter. Amber nodded, started to leave, stopped. One more thing. Your mother tried to recruit someone else. After everything fell apart, another young woman from church, different target, same pattern, making friends, finding vulnerabilities. Someone stopped her, but she tried again. Ice ran through Becca's veins. Who? I don't know her name, but the target was Grace's brother. Your mother asked questions about him, his divorce, his loneliness. She was gathering information. Grace's brother, Tom, recently divorced, struggling. Trish had been planning another attack on Grace's family this time. When did this happen? 2 weeks ago, before she ran out of money, before everything fell apart. Someone at church figured it out, warned him, but she tried. Get out. I'm sorry. Get out. Amber left, walked to her car, drove away. Becca closed the door, locked it, leaned against it. Her mother. Not just betraying her once, but planning to do it again. To someone else, to Grace's family. Ellie cried. Becca went to her, picked her up, fed her, rocked her. Her phone rang. Grace. Hey, is everything okay? Tom just called. Said someone from your mom's church warned him about some woman trying to get close to him. Target him or something. Said it might have been your mom. That's crazy, right? Becca closed her eyes. It's not crazy. What? Amber was just here. She told me everything. Grace, my mom tried to do to Tom what she did to me. She was planning it before she ran out of money. Silence. Then, I'm coming over. You don't have to. I'm coming over. Now, we need to talk about this. Grace arrived 20 minutes later. Becca told her everything Amber had said about the recruitment, the jealousy, the deliberate planning, the attempt on Tom. Grace went pale, then red, then pale again. She tried to target my brother. Yes, because of me, because I'm your friend. I don't know. Maybe. Or maybe just because he was vulnerable. This is insane. Your mother is actually insane. No, she's not insane. She's calculating. Deliberate, cruel, but not insane. Insane would almost be better. This is choice. Pure choice. Grace sat down. What are you going to do? Nothing. What can I do? She violated no laws, violated the agreement. She just tried to start another con and got caught. There's nothing to report. So she just gets away with it. She's broke, alone, banned from her church group. Everyone knows what she did now. That's not getting away with it. It's not enough. Maybe not, but it's all we have. They sat in silence. Ellie slept in Becca's arms. Innocent, unaware, perfect. Can I ask you something? Grace said quietly. Yeah. Do you miss her, your mom? Did she? Becca thought about it, really thought. I miss the idea of her, the mom I thought I had, the one who loved me unconditionally, who'd protect me, who'd choose me. But that mom never existed. So what am I missing? A lie? That's not an answer. Yes, it is. I miss the lie, but I don't miss her, the real her, the one who betrayed me and tried to steal my child and planned to do it to someone else. That person, I don't miss at all. Fair. Grace stayed for dinner, helped with Ellie, made Becca laugh about stupid things, reminded her that life existed beyond the pain. When Grace left, Becca sat with Ellie in the nursery. Lavender walls, soft light, safe space. Your grandmother is broken, she told Ellie. Something inside her is twisted and wrong, and I don't know why. Maybe her parents, maybe her life, maybe just her. But it's not your fault. It's not my fault. It's hers. Ellie grabbed Becca's finger, held tight. You're never going to know her, and someday you'll ask why. And I'll tell you the truth, that she chose cruelty over love, that she hurt people deliberately, that she couldn't be trusted. Becca kissed Ellie's hand, and you'll probably feel sad or angry or confused, and that's okay. All of those feelings are okay. But you need to know something. Her brokenness doesn't define you. Her choices don't limit you. You get to be whoever you want to be, whoever you choose to be. Ellie yawned, fell asleep. Becca rocked and thought about her mother, about jealousy, about how people can be poisoned from the inside out, about how she'd never let that happen to herself, about how she'd teach her daughter to recognize toxic people, to protect herself, to walk away when necessary, about how she'd break the cycle. Because that's what mothers did, real mothers, the kind who chose their children over their own bitterness, the kind Becca would be, the kind her mother never was. John's trial was fast. He pleaded guilty, took a deal, 15 years, federal prison. Becca didn't attend, didn't need to. Daniel sent updates. John's lawyer tried one last time to get unsupervised visitation. Judge denied it, laughed while doing it. Supervised visitation only. In prison. Twice a month. If Becca allowed it. She hadn't decided yet. Ellie was too young. When she was older, maybe. If Ellie wanted to, but that was years away. For now, John was simply gone. A name on birth certificate. A child support payment that arrived on time. Nothing more. His company sued him. Recovered some money. Not all. They'd restructured. Servimit. The scandal made national news. Tech executives sentenced for multi-million-dollar embezzlement. People from Becca's past reached out. Old friends, former co-workers, people she hadn't talked to in years. I saw the news. Are you okay? If you need anything, let me know. You're so brave. Becca wasn't brave. She was surviving. That's not the same thing, but she appreciated the thought. The hardest part was explaining to people who didn't know. New people. People she met at mommy groups or the pediatrician's office. Is your husband deployed? No, he's in prison. Silence, awkward silence. People not knowing what to say. Some disappeared, couldn't handle it. Too messy, too complicated. Some stayed. The good ones stayed. Dr. Hayes checked on her regularly. Not just medical checkups, real conversations. How are you really? Tired, overwhelmed, confused. That's normal. Was it? Normal to be a single mom because your husband's in prison and your mother tried to steal your kid? Okay, that's specific situation is unusual, but the feelings completely normal. It helped. Knowing she wasn't crazy, wasn't broken, just dealing with an insane situation. Grace was there daily, helping with Ellie, bringing food, forcing Becca to shower and sleep. You need to take care of yourself. I'm fine. You're running on fumes and spite. That's not fine. Grace was right. Becca was barely holding together, but she was holding. That counted for something. Marcus visited every week, brought supplies, played with Ellie, made sure Becca was eating. You're losing weight. I'm busy. You're forgetting to eat. That's different. He started having food delivered. Breakfast, lunch, dinner. Just show up, pre-made, easy. Marcus, I can feed myself. And yet you're not, so I'm helping. She couldn't argue. He was right. Richard came by regularly, awkward at first, not sure of his place in this mess. But he kept coming, kept showing up, kept trying. One day he brought a photo album, old pictures of John as a kid. I thought maybe someday Ellie would want to know who her father was, before he became what he is. Becca looked through the pictures. John at 5, at 10, at 15, smiling, normal, innocent. When had he changed? Or had he always been broken? Thank you, she said. I'll keep these for her. I'm sorry he turned out this way. It's not your fault. I'm his father. Somewhere I failed. No, you loved him, provided for him and taught him right from wrong. He chose to ignore everything you taught him. That's his failure, not yours. Richard's eyes filled. You're kinder than I deserve. You're Ellie's grandfather. You deserve kindness. Vivian never came around, never called. Richard said she still didn't believe John was guilty, thought he'd been framed, thought Becca had lied. Some people choose delusion, easier than facing truth. Becca didn't care. She had enough family, the kind that showed up, the kind that mattered. 3 months after Ellie was born, Becca returned to work. Not her old job, something new. She started a foundation, Eleanor's Promise, helping women escape financial abuse. Marcus funded it, donated $1 million to get started. Make it matter. She did. Hired staff, rented office space, created programs. Women came, dozens, then hundreds. Stories like hers, worse than hers, different but same. Husbands hiding money, parents stealing from trusts, partners controlling finances, financial abuse wearing love's mask. Becca listened, helped, connected them with lawyers, accountants, therapists, resources. Some women left their abusers, some stayed but protected themselves. Some weren't ready yet. All of them needed to know they weren't alone, weren't crazy, weren't making it up. Grace volunteered, answered hotlines, held women while they cried, provided medical resources. Dar Hayes joined the board, provided medical perspective, educated staff on trauma responses. Daniel Price donated legal hours, helped women file restraining orders, divorce papers, custody petitions. The foundation grew. Local news covered it, then national news. Woman turns personal tragedy into mission to help others. Becca didn't do interviews, didn't want attention, just wanted to help, but word spread. Donations came in, more staff, more resources, more women helped. 6 months after the foundation launched, they'd helped 47 women, recovered $2 million, changed lives. It didn't erase what happened to Becca, didn't fix her marriage or restore her mother, but it mattered, made the pain purposeful, made her feel like maybe she could be okay someday. One day, a young woman came to the foundation, 26, pregnant, scared. She sat across from Becca, told her story, boyfriend hiding money, mother saying she was overreacting, everyone telling her she was crazy. Becca knew this story, lived this story. Let me tell you something, Becca said gently. You're not crazy. You are not overreacting. And you're definitely not alone. The woman started crying. What do I do? Becca handed her tissues. First, we document everything, every transaction, every lie, every red flag. Then we build your case. Then we get you out, safe, protected, with your baby. Can you really do that? Yes, I can because someone did it for me, and now I do it for others. The woman's name was Ashley. She was 6 months pregnant. Her boyfriend had been stealing from her for 2 years. Becca called Marcus. He sent lawyers, accountants, investigators, the full team. Within a week, they documented everything, filed papers, got Ashley safe, her baby protected. Ashley sent Becca a card weeks later. "You saved my life. You saved my baby's life. Thank you." Becca put the card on her office wall, first of many, reminder of why the pain mattered. At home, Ellie grew, rolled over, smiled, laughed, completely unaware of the chaos that surrounded her birth. She was happy, healthy, loved. That's what mattered. Becca rocked her daughter every night, sang lullabies, told stories. Once upon a time, there was a princess who thought she needed a prince. But it turned out she didn't. She just needed herself and her family and her courage, and she lived happily ever after. Ellie would grab her face, smile, fall asleep, safe, protected, loved. Becca hadn't heard from her mother in months. No calls, no texts, no attempts at contact. It should have felt good. It felt hollow. She thought cutting off her mother would feel empowering, liberating. Instead, it felt like grief, like losing someone who never really existed. But necessary grief, healing grief, the kind that made room for something better. One night, Grace found Becca crying in Ellie's nursery. "What's wrong?" "Nothing, everything, I don't know." Becca wiped her face. "I keep thinking about my mom, about what she could have been, what we could have been." "You're mourning. For what? For someone who never existed? For the mother you deserved, the one you should have had. That's worth mourning." Becca nodded, couldn't speak, just nodded. "But Becca, you're breaking the cycle. You're being the mother you needed. Ellie will never doubt if you love her. She'll never question if you chose her. That's everything. What if I mess up? What if I become like her?" "You won't." "How do you know?" "Because you're worried about it. Toxic people don't worry about being toxic. They just are. You're questioning yourself, examining your choices, trying to do better. That's the difference." It helped, not completely, but enough. Becca kept going, kept showing up, kept being the mother Ellie deserved, the mother she never had. And slowly, imperceptibly, the pain became bearable. Not gone, just bearable. She was healing, actually healing. It looked like late nights with a crying baby, like foundation work helping strangers, like therapy appointments in mommy groups and learning to be okay alone. It looked like Grace bringing wine, which Becca couldn't drink while breastfeeding but appreciated anyway. Like Marcus sending ridiculous baby clothes. Like Richard reading stories to Ellie in funny voices. It looked like life. Messy, complicated, imperfect, but hers, really hers. And that was enough. Ellie's first birthday came on a Tuesday. Becca threw a small party. Grace and Mike, Marcus and his girlfriend, Richard, Dr. Hayes, a few people from the foundation. No John, he was in prison. Becca had taken Ellie to visit once. Supervised, awkward. Ellie had cried the whole time. They hadn't been back. No Trish, obviously. But the house was full of people who'd chosen them, who'd shown up, who mattered. Ellie smashed cake into her face. Everyone laughed, took pictures, celebrated life. Becca watched from the kitchen. Overwhelmed, grateful, tired, happy. 1 year ago, her life had imploded. Now look at it. Not perfect, but good. Really good. "You did it," Grace said, appearing beside her. "Did what?" "Survived, more than survived, thrived. Look at this, your daughter, your friends, your foundation. You built this from ashes." "We built this." "No, you built this. We just helped. But you did the work. You showed up. You chose to heal. That's all you." Marcus appeared with Ellie. "Someone wants her mama." Becca took her daughter. Ellie grabbed her face, smiled her two-tooth smile. "Hi, baby girl. Having fun?" Ellie babbled. Baby language, incomprehensible but emphatic. "I'll take that as a yes." The party wound down. People left. Grace helped clean up. Marcus took out trash. By 8 p.m., it was just Becca and Ellie again. bedtime routine, bath, pajamas, stories, names. Becca rocked her daughter, 1 year old, growing too fast. You know what, Ellie? A year ago today, you were brand new, and I was terrified. I didn't know if I could do this, be a mom, raise you alone, be enough. Ellie yawned. But we did it. We're doing it. You're healthy and happy and loved, and I'm okay. Actually okay. She paused. Your dad's in prison. Your grandmother is gone. Our family is weird and small and unconventional, but it's ours, and it's real, and that matters. Ellie fell asleep. Becca kept rocking. Her phone buzzed. Text from unknown number. This is Patricia. I know I'm not supposed to contact you, but it's Ellie's birthday. I just wanted to say happy birthday to my granddaughter. I miss you both. Becca stared at the message. First contact in a year. She should delete it. Block the number. Maintain boundaries. Instead, she typed, don't contact me again. Simple, clear, final. Patricia replied immediately, please, I'm sorry I made mistakes. Can't we? Becca blocked the number. Deleted the messages. Done. Grace called. How was bedtime? Good, fine. Becca paused. My mom texted. What? How? New number. Said happy birthday to Ellie. Wanted to reconnect. What did you say? Don't contact me again, then blocked her. Good. How do you feel? Nothing. I feel nothing. Is that weird? No. That's healing. A year ago, that would have destroyed you. Now, nothing. That's progress. Maybe. Becca didn't know anymore, but she knew she'd made the right choice. Blocking her mother. Protecting Ellie. Maintaining boundaries. That had to count for something. 2 weeks later, Becca ran into someone unexpected. She was at the coffee shop near the foundation. Waiting for her latte, someone said her name. Becca? She turned, froze. Amber Kingsley, looking better than last time. Healthier, hair done, makeup light but present. Hi. Awkward silence. I'm sorry, Amber said. I didn't know you'd be here. I can go. It's fine. Was it fine? Becca didn't know, but saying it was fine was easier than making a scene. They stood in awkward silence, waiting for drinks, not looking at each other. Finally, Amber spoke. I'm in therapy now, dealing with everything, learning about manipulation, about how your mother targeted me. Good. My therapist says I was a victim too. I don't know if I believe that. I made choices, bad choices, but she says I was manipulated. You were, and you also made choices. Both things can be true. Amber nodded. I'm sorry for everything, for my part in it. I know sorry doesn't fix anything, but I mean it. Becca looked at her, really looked at her, saw a kid, a stupid kid who'd made terrible choices but was trying to be better. I believe you. Really? Yeah, I still don't forgive you. I probably never will, but I believe you're sorry. That's fair. They got their drinks. Becca started to leave. Becca, she turned. Your foundation, Eleanor's Promise. I read about it. It's amazing. You're helping people. Trying to. I wanted you to know. I called your hotline once, didn't leave my name. But I talked to someone, told my story. They helped me find a therapist, financial counselor, started putting my life back together. Becca didn't know what to say. So thank you for helping me, even though you have every reason to hate me. I don't hate you. You should. Yeah, probably, but hate takes energy, and I'd rather use that energy on my daughter, on my foundation, on building something good. Amber's eyes filled. You're a better person than I am. No, I'm just tired of being angry. Becca left, got in her car, sat there for a minute. Amber had called the foundation, had gotten help, had started healing. It was weird, complicated, messy, but also good, because the foundation had helped someone, even someone who'd hurt Becca. That's what healing looked like, helping people who didn't deserve it, because everyone deserves help, even people who make terrible choices, even people like Amber, like John, like Trish. Not forgiveness, not reconciliation, just humanity. Acknowledgement that people are complicated, broken, capable of both harm and healing. Becca drove home. Ellie was with Marcus for the afternoon. Girls' day with Uncle Marcus, which meant spoiling an ice cream and absolutely no vegetables. Becca had the afternoon free. Rare. Precious. She used it to go through old photos, boxes from before, from the marriage, from when things were good, or seemed good. Pictures of her wedding, John smiling, her mother crying happy tears, everyone believing the lie. Pictures of the pregnancy announcement, everyone excited, joy on every face. Underneath it all, betrayal. Pictures of her baby shower, her mother organizing everything, smiling, planning, destroying. Becca should burn the photos, delete them, erase that life. But she didn't, because Ellie deserved to know where she came from. Deserved to see that once her parents had smiled at each other. That once, before everything fell apart, there had been something real. Or the appearance of something real. That counted for something. She kept the photos, put them away, not displayed, but saved, for Ellie, for someday. Her phone rang. Marcus. Ellie just said her first word. What? What did she say? Mama. She said mama, clear as day, while eating ice cream. Becca's eyes filled. Put her on. She's won. She doesn't know how phones work. I don't care. Put her on. She heard rustling, then Ellie's babbling. Hi, baby girl. Uncle Marcus says you said mama. Can you say it again? Babbling, no words. That's okay. You can say it again when I get home. Marcus came back on. She totally said it. I swear. I believe you. Don't give her too much sugar. Too late. We're on our second ice cream. Marcus! She's a Morrison. We're built for excess. Becca laughed. Actually laughed. Bring her home before she gets sick. Fine, but we're stopping her for French fries first. You're a terrible influence. I'm her favorite uncle. You're her only uncle. Irrelevant. I'm still her favorite. He hung up. Becca smiled, put away the photos, made dinner, set up Ellie's high chair. Normal. Routine. Life. Marcus arrived an hour later. Ellie covered in ice cream and ketchup. We had an adventure. I see that. Becca cleaned up Ellie, gave her dinner, which she refused because Marcus had already fed her junk. Put her to bed early. Marcus stayed for dinner, ordered pizza. They ate in comfortable silence. You doing okay? He asked. Yeah, actually, yeah. Good. You seem lighter, less destroyed? I was going to say burdened, but destroyed works too. I saw Amber today. Marcus went still. What happened? Nothing. We talked. She apologized. Again, told me she's in therapy. How do you feel about that? I don't know. Fine. She's trying to be better. That's good. You're very generous. No, I'm just done carrying anger. It's too heavy. Marcus nodded. Fair. But Becca, you know you don't have to forgive anyone, right? Not Amber, not John, not your mom. You can heal without forgiving them. I know. Good. Because forgiveness is for you, not them. Don't forgive them because you think you should. Only forgive them if it helps you heal. And if it doesn't, then don't. When did you get so wise? Therapy. Turns out billionaires have issues too. You're in therapy? Have been for years. How do you think I deal with running a company and not becoming a sociopath? Fair point. They finished dinner. Marcus left. Becca cleaned up, checked on Ellie, still sleeping, still perfect, still hers. Becca sat in the nursery rocker, thought about the year, about everything that happened, everything she'd survived. Her marriage ending, her mother betraying her life imploding, but also Ellie being born, the foundation launching, healing beginning. Both things were true, the pain and the growth, the destruction and the rebuilding. She'd survived. More than survived. She'd built something new, something real, something good. And that was enough. More than enough. It was everything. 18 months after Ellie's birth, Becca's life looked completely different. The foundation had helped 217 women, recovered $8 million, opened 3 satellite offices. Becca hired more staff, trained volunteers, spoke at conferences, became an expert on financial abuse. She didn't want to be an expert, hadn't asked for this expertise, but here she was, using her pain to help others, making it matter. Ellie was walking now, talking, full sentences sometimes. Mama, juice please, and Uncle Marcus funny, and more cookies now. Stubborn, smart, happy, everything Becca had hoped for. John remained in prison. They'd visited 3 more times, supervised, awkward. Ellie didn't remember him between visits. To her, he was a stranger. Maybe that was better, maybe not. Becca didn't know, but she documented everything, taken pictures, saved his letters when he bothered to write. Someday, Ellie could decide what relationship she wanted. That was years away. For now, she was just a toddler who loved her mama, her uncle, her grandpa, her Aunt Grace. That was enough. Trish tried to contact Becca a few more times, different numbers, through mutual acquaintances, through Father Tom. Each time Becca said no. Clear boundaries. No exceptions. Father Tom understood. I pray for her and for you, for healing on both sides. Thank you, Father. But Becca, you're doing the right thing, protecting yourself and Ellie. That's what good mothers do. It helped, hearing that from someone who'd known her family for decades, who'd known Trish for years. Validation that cutting off her mother was right, necessary, healthy. Grace had another baby, a boy named Oliver. Ellie loved him, called him Baby Ollie, and tried to help, which meant mostly poking him and stealing his toys. Marcus got engaged to a brilliant woman named Sophie who ran her own tech company, who didn't take his crap but loved him anyway. Becca was in their wedding, held Ellie during the ceremony, cried happy tears. Life moved forward. Not perfect, but good, really good. One day a woman came to the foundation, late 30s, professional, composed until she wasn't. Her name was Jennifer. Her story was familiar. Husband controlling money, mother-in-law helping him, financial abuse disguised as love. Becca listened, took notes, started building the case. Then Jennifer said something that stopped Becca cold. The worst part is, I don't know who to trust anymore. If my own mother-in-law would do this, who else is lying? My friends? My coworkers? How do you ever trust anyone again? Becca knew this feeling, lived this feeling. You don't, she said honestly. Not at first. For a while you trust no one. You question everything. You assume everyone's lying. That sounds awful. It is, but it's also necessary. You need that time to rebuild your sense of reality, to learn to trust your instincts again. When does it get better? When you start meeting people who show up, who do what they say, who prove through actions, not words, that they're trustworthy. It's not fast, but it happens. How long did it take you? I'm still learning, but I have people now. Good people, people who've earned trust. That's enough. Jennifer wiped her eyes. Thank you for understanding, for not pretending it's easy. It's not easy, but it's possible. That's something. They spent the next hour building Jennifer's case, documenting, planning, strategizing. By the end, Jennifer looked different, still scared, but determined, fighting back. You're going to be okay, Becca said. How do you know? Because you're here, because you're fighting, because you haven't given up. That's how I know. After Jennifer left, Becca sat in her office, looked at the cards on her wall, dozens now, from women she'd helped, lives she'd changed. You saved my life. Thank you for believing me. I didn't know I could be strong until you showed me. Each card a reminder. The pain mattered. The struggle meant something. The surviving counted. Grace knocked on her door. You busy? Never too busy for you. Grace came in, closed the door, looked serious. What's wrong? Nothing's wrong. I just need to tell you something. Okay? Your mom reached out to me. Becca went cold. What? Last week through Facebook. Asked me to pass a message to you, Toto. What did you say? Nothing. I blocked her. But, Becca, she's not giving up. She's trying to find ways to reach you. What did she want? To see Ellie? She said she's changed, that she's been in therapy, that she understands what she did wrong. She wants a chance to make it right. No. I know, I'm not saying you should. telling you so you're prepared. In case she tries other people, other routes. Becca closed her eyes, took a breath. Thank you for telling me. What are you going to do? Nothing. She made her choices. She lives with them. I'm done giving her chances. Even if she's really changed. Grace, if she'd changed, she'd respect my boundaries. She'd leave me alone. She wouldn't be harassing my friends. Real change looks like accepting consequences. This is manipulation wearing therapy language. Grace nodded. You're right. I just wanted you to know. After Grace left, Becca called Daniel Price. I need to send a cease and desist letter. To your mother? Yes, she's contacting my friends, trying to get to me through them. I want it to stop. Consider it done. I'll send it today. If she contacts anyone again, we'll file for a restraining order. Thank you. Becca, I'm sorry you have to do this. Me too. The letter was sent. Trish received it, signed for it, acknowledged it. She didn't contact anyone again. At least not that Becca knew about. Maybe she'd finally understood. Maybe she was just scared of legal consequences. Either way, it stopped. That's what mattered. Life continued. Ellie turned 2, then 2.5, growing impossibly fast. She started preschool, made friends, brought home art projects and stories about Miss Rachel and playground time. Normal kid things, beautiful, boring, normal kid things. Becca watched her daughter play, confident, happy, unaware of the chaos she'd been born into. That was good. That was the goal. Ellie would know someday, but for now, she was just a kid who knew she was loved, who knew her mama would protect her, who knew she mattered. That was everything. One day, Becca was at the park with Ellie, pushing her on the swings, watching her laugh. Another mom approached. Hi, I'm Sarah. My daughter's in Ellie's class. Hi, I'm Becca. I've heard about your foundation, Eleanor's Promise. My sister used your services last year. You helped her leave her husband. I'm glad we could help. And she's doing great now. Has her own place. Her kids are thriving. She said you saved her life. Becca didn't know what to say. Never knew what to say to things like that. I just helped her see her options. No, you did more than that. You believed her when no one else did. That matters. They talked for a few minutes. Then Sarah left. Becca pushed Ellie on the swings. Higher, Mama. Okay, baby. Hold on tight. Ellie squealed, laughed, kicked her legs. Happy, safe, loved. Becca thought about Sarah's sister, about Jennifer, about Ashley, about the 217 women the foundation had helped, about all the women still out there, trapped, scared, not knowing they had options. The foundation was growing, but not fast enough. There were too many women, too much need. That night, after Ellie was in bed, Becca sat with Marcus. He'd come over for dinner, stayed to help with bedtime. I've been thinking, Becca said. Dangerous. I want to expand the foundation, open more offices, hire more staff, help more women. Okay, how much do you need? Marcus, I can't just keep taking your money. Why not? I have too much of it, and you're doing important work. Let me help. I want to fundraise, build something sustainable, not dependent on your donations. Good plan. I'll match every dollar you raise, dollar for dollar. How's that? You're ridiculous. I'm generous. There's a difference. They planned, strategized, dreamed big. Within 6 months, the foundation had raised $2 million. Marcus matched it, $4 million total. They opened 6 new offices, hired 30 new staff members, launched a 24/7 hotline, helped 500 women in the first year after expansion, 1,000 the next year. The foundation became national, then international. Women from other countries reaching out, needing help, finding hope. Becca hired regional directors, built infrastructure, created programs, turned her pain into purpose, her tragedy into triumph, not because the pain didn't matter, but because it mattered too much to waste. 3 years after John went to prison, he was up for early release. Good behavior, model prisoner. His lawyer called. He wants to see Ellie, real visitation, unsupervised. No. Mrs. Morrison, he's completed therapy, taken parenting classes. He's changed. I don't care. The answer is no. A judge might. Then we'll go to court, and I'll bring every piece of evidence showing what he did, what he planned, how he tried to steal my daughter. Let him explain that to a judge. The lawyer went quiet. I'll inform my client. You do that. John's request for unsupervised visitation was denied. He could continue supervised visits. In prison, if Becca brought Ellie, she'd been taking Ellie once every few months. Let her see her father. Brief visits, awkward, supervised. Ellie called him John, not Daddy, just John, like he was a distant relative, not a parent. It hurt John. Becca could see it, but he'd made his choices. Ellie was almost 4 when she asked the question Becca had been dreading. Mama, why does John live in the big building with the guards? They were driving home from a visit, Ellie in her car seat. Innocent question, devastating answer. Becca took a breath. Because John made some bad choices. He hurt people, took things that weren't his. When grown-ups do that, they go to a special building to learn to make better choices. Like timeout? Yes, like a very long timeout. When will he come home? I don't know, baby. Maybe a long time, maybe never. But that's okay. We have each other and Uncle Marcus and Aunt Grace and Grandpa Richard. We have our family. Is John my daddy? Here it was, the question Becca knew would come. Yes, John is your biological father. That means he helped make you. But being a father is more than that. It's showing up, being there, choosing you every day. John didn't do those things. Oh, Ellie thought about it. Can Uncle Marcus be my daddy instead? Becca's heart cracked. Uncle Marcus loves you very much, but he's your uncle. That's special too. Okay, just like that. Ellie moved on, started singing a song from preschool. Kids were resilient like that. Adults carried baggage. Kids just adapted. Becca was grateful for it. That night, Marcus called, like he always did, checking in. Ellie asked if you could be her daddy. Silence. Then, what did you say? That you're her uncle. That it's special. She can call me whatever she wants. You know that, right? If she wants to call me Dad, I'm honored. Marcus, I mean it. I'm not trying to replace John, but I'm here. I've been here since the beginning. If she wants to see me as a father figure, that's okay. More than okay. Thank you. Always, Becca. Always. Ellie eventually settled on Uncle Daddy Marcus, a compromise only a 4-year-old could create. Marcus loved it, introduced himself that way. I'm Uncle Daddy Marcus. It's complicated. Life was complicated, family was complicated. But love? Love was simple. Show up, be consistent, choose them every day. That's love. 5 years after everything fell apart, Becca's life was unrecognizable. Ellie was 5, starting kindergarten, reading, writing, making friends. The foundation had helped thousands of women, changed countless lives, made real measurable impact. Becca had written a book, published it. From betrayal to purpose, turning pain into power. It became a bestseller, not because Becca was famous, but because her story resonated, because thousands of women lived similar stories. She donated all proceeds to the foundation. Every penny built more programs, helped more people. Grace and Mike had another baby, a girl named Emma. Ellie was obsessed with her, wanted to help constantly. Marcus and Sophie got married, had twins, 2 boys, chaos and joy and exhaustion. Richard met someone, a widow named Margaret, kind, gentle. Good for him. Life moved forward, not perfect, never perfect, but good, really good. One day, Becca ran into someone at the grocery store, John's mother, Vivian. Awkward silence, neither sure what to say. Finally, Vivian spoke. How is she, Ellie? She's good, happy, thriving. Can I see her? No. Please, I'm her grandmother. You chose not to believe what your son did. You chose to call me a liar. You made your choice. Now you live with it. I was wrong. Yes, you were. Can't you forgive me? Becca thought about it, really thought about it. No, not yet. Maybe someday, but not today. You had a choice. You could have believed me, supported me, chose your grandchild. Instead, you chose denial. That has consequences. Vivian's eyes filled. I'm sorry. I believe you. But sorry isn't enough. Sorry doesn't change what happened. It just makes you feel better about it. Becca left, finished her shopping, drove home. Ellie was at preschool. The house was quiet. Becca sat in the living room, thought about Vivian, about forgiveness, about moving forward. She didn't know if she'd ever forgive her mother, or John, or Vivian. Maybe, maybe not. But she knew she was okay either way. Forgiveness wasn't required for healing, just acceptance, just moving forward. She'd accepted what happened, moved forward, built a life. That was enough, more than enough. That evening, Becca picked up Ellie from preschool. They stopped for ice cream, sat in the park. Mama, can I ask you something? Always. Am I lucky? What do you mean? Miss Rachel says we should think about what makes us lucky. I couldn't think of anything because we don't have a daddy and everyone else does. Becca's heart squeezed. Oh, baby. But then I thought about it, and I think I'm lucky anyway, because I have you, and Uncle Daddy Marcus, and Aunt Grace, and Grandpa Richard, and everyone else. So maybe I'm lucky, just different? Tears ran down Becca's face. Yes, baby, you're lucky, just different. We all are. Don't cry, Mama. These are happy tears. Okay, can I have more ice cream? Yes, you can have all the ice cream. They sat in that park, eating ice cream, watching the sun set. Becca thought about the last 5 years, the pain, the growth, the transformation. She'd lost a husband, a mother, a life she'd thought she wanted, but she gained perspective, strength, purpose, a daughter, a family she chose, a mission that mattered. She turned betrayal into purpose, pain into power, ashes into something beautiful. She finally understood something. The prison door had been unlocked all along. She'd been her own warden, but now she was free. And freedom looked like a future she built herself. For a daughter who would never doubt her worth. For women who needed someone to believe them. For a world that needed more people who turned pain into purpose. Freedom looked like this. A 5-year-old covered in ice cream. A foundation helping thousands. A life rebuilt from ruins. Not perfect. Never perfect. But hers. Really hers. And that was everything. And that's how Rebecca Morrison turned her darkest moment into her greatest purpose. From a betrayed wife to a woman who saved thousands. From victim to victor. You know what I love about this story? It's not about revenge. It's about something better. Dignity, strength, choosing yourself when everyone else chooses against you. Now here's my question for you. What did you think about Patricia? About a mother who could betray her own daughter like that? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one, and honestly, some of your perspectives blow my mind. And listen, if this story resonated with you, if you felt Rebecca's pain or celebrated her victory, hit that like button. It tells me you want more stories like this. Real stories. Raw stories. Stories about people who survived the unthinkable. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. Someone who's going through their own betrayal. Someone who needs to know they're not alone, not crazy, not weak, just human. And if you're new here, welcome. Subscribe and turn on notifications because I share stories like this every week. Stories about strength, survival, second chances, stories that matter. Remember, the prison door is always unlocked. You're your own warden. Freedom is just one choice away. I'll see you in the next story. Until then, choose yourself. Always choose yourself.